choice. Dr. Devashree Sane, you're a third-year resident doctor, and I know that resident doctors and junior doctors have all kinds of challenges that you've had to face. But as a COVID survivor, going back to the hospital, working tirelessly, give us your experience over the last 18 months.
Yeah, so I tested positive for COVID-19 in September of last year, and this was shortly after one of my COVID postings actually. By God's grace, I had a very, very mild form of disease. But as you may know, all residents stay together in the hostel room. There are common bathrooms. So there's really no scope for self-isolation. And that's why I had to be admitted. So now this admission was an admission of many firsts. The first time I had an IV line inserted into my hand, the very first time that I received injectable antibiotics and saline, the first time that I had a CT scan done. So, you know, what I thought then was that I'm a doctor. I know what all this means. I know what's going to happen next. And still I'm worried. And that hit me so hard that even when I know I'm so scared, I can't possibly even imagine what my patients must be thinking when they're absolutely not aware of what they're in for. And, you know, secondly, when I did recover and when I was out of it, I think I was just very grateful to be so healthy and alive. You know, basically going back, I realized, and I was a little humbled by the fact, because now I knew the impact that my work had. Because as resident doctors, we give comfort to patients in probably the most vulnerable periods of their life.
Did it change your relationship there, Dr. Sane, with your patients?
Social isolation where you're...
Did it change your relationship with your patients? You had come out of the COVID ward. You were a surgeon. Did it change your relationship with COVID patients after you had come out and again were treating them?
Definitely. You know, we all say that we always have sympathy for the patients, but the empathy, actually being in a patient's shoes and understanding how vulnerable it is, and even for a fleeting second, although I knew I had a mild form of disease, I was vulnerable. There is this thought in every patient's mind that what if, you know, something serious happens to me? And that sort of makes you realize how fickle life is, as well as makes you realize how important the work that you do is. And we're always taught that, you know, you can cure sometimes, you can treat often, but you can always comfort. So that's what I took back home, that, you know, whatever the situation may be, at least in that vulnerable period,
so it was,
the patient's life, the period where I was and I was given that comfort, I would want to give that to my patient.
I like the way you put it. You moved from sympathy to empathy.